Hello everyone, dear students. In this class, I am going to discuss about some application of trigonometry in according to 10th class mathematics. So let's continue with this chapter. Okay, I guess this is a class chapter number 9 according to NCERT Syllabus. So here very important in this chapter you should know very important and basics about trigonometry. So in the previous sessions, previous class study madidvi. So what do you mean by trigonometry? In trigonometry, there are 6 trigonometric ratios are there. So majorly which are applicable, and we are going to use over right angle triangles use ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ correct alva. Suppose dear students, if you are going to consider the right angle triangle, in the right angle triangles one side ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, one angle 90 degree irutte. As we know, this is 90 degree. For this 90 degree consideration ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ this side is going to consider as hypotenuse side. Suppose if you are going to consider the considered angle, if let me consider this theta is an angle. For this theta, this is a opposite side. The next angle is going to called as adjacent. So that we are studied in a trigonometry. By using on the previous chapter, chapter number 8 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು detail ಆಗಿ some ರೇಷಿಯೋಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಟ್ರಿಗ್ನೋಮೆಟ್ರಿ ರೇಷಿಯೋಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆ ರೇಷಿಯೋಸ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾವ ತರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಟ್ರಿಗ್ನೋಮೆಟ್ರಿ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಡೈಲಿ ಲೈಫ್ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ದಿಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಟ್ರಯಾಂಗಲ್. ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಟ್ರಯಾಂಗಲ್, ಸೊ ನಾನು another things I am going to consider here. So if you are going to consider this right angle triangle, in this right angle here is a, let me consider angle. According to this angle, this will be a opposite side, and here is a 90 degree ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ this ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, hypotenuse side ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, and the next angle are going to call as adjacent. At the same time, my dear students, if you are going to consider in this right angle triangle, this will be a base, right? This is a base, and this is a height, or also we can represent as perpendicular side alwa, perpendicular side or height ಅಂತ expression ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Now this is a hypotenuse side. Suppose if you are going to stand here, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, then this ಏನಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು ನಾವು, hypotenuse side is also going to call as line of sight ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. line of sight ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, line of sight. So in this line of sight ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರುವಂತದ್ದು line of sight. So in this case, this is what a slant side. The slant is a hypotenuse or line of sight ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. And in this right angle triangle, this is what base, adjacent side can also represent as base of a triangle, and this will be a height. So just by observing this case, if you are going to consider any building, for example here let me consider there is a building here, this is a base on the ground level, let me consider this is a ground level, and this is a building, the building height is, let me consider h, where h is the height of the building. And from here, suppose the person, any one of the person is standing somewhere here, okay? If he is standing here and looking about the top of the building, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತದು, height ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, from ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, and this ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀರಾ line of sight, line of sight, okay? That line of sight can also represent as ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು, hypotenuse ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. according to right angle triangle, here again there is a right angle triangle. And from the person, let me consider the specific point P. ಈ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ some distance ಇದೆ. The distance ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು ನಾನು, again that you can call it as a distance D, distance ಅಥವಾ ಬೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಈ ಒಂದು ರೈಟ್ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಟ್ರಯಾಂಗಲ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ there are two things ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಒಂದೇನು ಹೇಳೋ ರಜಾ, one thing is very important ಆಗಿ height ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು, ಓಕೆನಾ? And this is what, that is distance. So from the base ಅಥವಾ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ distance ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. So ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಸರ್? This chapter name is some application of trigonometry. In this case applications ಅಂದ್ರೆ height ಅನ್ನ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, it may be a building, okay, or it may be a pole, height of the pole, or it may be a tower, okay, tower ಅಂತ ತಗೋಬಹುದು ನಾವು, ಅದನ್ನ height ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ. And from the specific point, what is the distance between the poles, ಎರಡು ಪೋಲ್ಗಳ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರಬಹುದು, or building between the building, if you are going to consider any two building, the distance between the buildings, that everything we can find with the help of this trigonometry. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? I mean by considering this right angle triangle, yes, we can we can find height, distance or line of sight. Line of sight, it may be, suppose if you are going to consider any ladder, ಓಕೆ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಈಗ ನೋಡಿಪ್ಪ ಈಗ ಇದೊಂದು ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಕೋ ದೆನ್ ಯು ಸಪೋಸ್ ಟು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಡರ್ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತಾ ಓಕೆನಾ ದೆನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ದ ಲೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಡರ್ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೂತಿರುತ್ತೆ ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಲ್ಯಾಡರ್ ಹೀಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂರೋದು ಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಉದ್ದ ಲ್ಯಾಡರ್ ಬೇಕು ವಾಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ದ ಲೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಡರ್ ಟು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ದ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಈ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರಿಗ್ನೋಮೆಟ್ರಿನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಸಮ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ trigonometry so at the same time in trigonometry chapter in previous chapter number ಯಾವುದು 8 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು trigonometry ratios ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ವಿ just for the brief here in trigonometry ratios how many ratios are there as we all know there are 6 trigonometric ratios you know 6 trigonometric ratios ಇದಾವೆ the first ratio is ಏನಿದೆ first ratio sine of the angle sin theta second is cosine of the angle cos theta and third one is tangent of the angle tan theta and next first ಮೂರನ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ರೆಸಿಪ್ರೋಕಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ cosecant of the angle cosecant theta and cos in a reciprocal is secant of the angle let's call secant theta which are hypotenuse by adjacent and last one is tan in a reciprocal which is cotangent of the angle so my dear students I mean with the help of these 3 sides ಈ 3 ಸೈಡ್ ನ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ನಾವು 6 trigonometry ratios ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ that we studied in a previous class now application in these applications very important ಆಗಿ ಯಾವ ತರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು ಸೊ ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ as I said earlier this opposite side here is a base is a adjacent side that opposite side which express height of the pole suppose if you are going to consider this a pole no or this only a height of the building or if it may consider this a tower only tower ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು that is height of the tower height of the building height of the pole same time this will be a distance this is what the thing okay now dear friends that angle we are going to express in a two different way one is angle of elevation ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ ಐ ಸೈಟ್ ಇಂದ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಡೌನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಕಂಪೇರಿಟಿವ್ ಇಯರ್ ಐ ಅಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ನನ್ನ ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಐ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ that is eye sight no this length no line of sight I hope it's clear from your point hige nodre that will be a adjacent side and this will be a height which are opposite side now very importantly in this chapter we are going to discuss about height and distance so ಈ chapter ಅಲ್ಲಿ applications ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ sir very important ಬರೋ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಯಾವುದು one is height and another one is distance concept okay that's what very important dear students now very importantly as I said now we ಎರಡು ವಿಚಾರ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು the first one is angle of elevation and angle of depression ಅಂತ suppose if you are going to consider this is a building or a tower from the specific point P then this I am going to call it as you know line of sight okay na correct aidu line of sight agutta idu and here if you are going to consider the angle let me call theta this is the angle theta from this specific point P and here is there is a distance from the point in the tower in a base ಗೆ or building base ಗೆ or pole base ಗೆ that is distance anta karitirara correct as a distance and this is what height of the building height of the tower height of the pole there are different concepts now dear student this ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾನು positive angle if you are going to measure in this anti-clockwise direction that angle is going to consider as positive angle okay that positive angle measurement ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ that line ಹೀಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ angle of elevation that is going to called as angle of elevation ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು ಈ ಒಂದು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಂತ ಕರೀತಾರ ನೀವು angle of elevation hope it's clear ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇದು ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಇವಾಗ at top ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು if you are here suppose for example this is what a building okay the person is standing here okay from here he is looking downwards ಹೀಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ looking towards the bottom ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ then ಏನಾಗಬಹುದು it may be there is a line here this is what a horizontal line Suppose if the person is looking this one means ee tara angle barutte. Download aitu. Kada? From here, this is what the thing. Illinda avanu bottom nodta idane. This angle enta karibadu neeviga. This is a negative angle. This is a negative angle. I hope it's clear. This is one of the representation, one of the view. Or same thing, if you are going to turn this one, like the turn mana, turn madre enagbodu Raja. Same thing, if you are going to turn this one, enagbodu. Observe here, same. I am going to represent this what a ray, directed segment line ray. That ray is moving this direction. Ee tara hodre, ee kade hೀಗೂ measure ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ? This is a negative angle. Same ಅದನ್ನ divert ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. So this is here again, this side ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ನೀವು ಹೀಗೂ ತಗೊಳ್ಬಹುದು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? In this will be a, for this is a theta ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, then this will be a opposite side. Here is a next angle is a adjacent side or a distance, and this is a line of sight which is hypotenuse side. Hypotenuse side. So my dear students, in this case very important again, this negative angle is going to called as angle of in India, that is angle of depression. Angle of depression ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. This is negative angle ನಾವು depression ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Positive angle ಇದ್ರೆ that is angle of elevation. So these two things are very very important. Please while I am explaining try to note on this also. ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಬನ್ನಿ ಹಾಗೇನೆ. Okay? That will be good. Clear? So these two. So heading ಏನಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ heading ಅಲ್ಲಿ very important ಆಗಿ some application of trigonometry. In this some application of trigonometry, there's a major ಆಗಿ in this chapter ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾವುದು? Height and distance. Height and distance. Agree-ನಾ? So next, this is a class number 1. So please note on fast. Completed ಅಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ, then you have to note on everything. Okay? Next. So my dear students, let's take this is ಈ ಒಂದು heading thought. Angle of elevation and angle of depression. ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಡ್ರು. Fast. Okay, or else later I will give the time. Okay? Next, just you leave the space. Now dear students, in this observation, nodiga, once again I am going to consider the right angle triangle. In this right angle triangle, here let me consider theta. For this theta, this is a opposite side. The next triangle is adjacent side. Or also we can consider as that is a distance. That is a distance. And here is a height of the building or height of the tower h. So let me call this is h. Okay, ಇದನ್ನ ನಾನು h ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀನಿ, ಇದನ್ನ just d ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀನಿ. Distance is d. And this let's call it as a hypotenuse side only. Okay na, or line of sight. Now dear students, if you want to find or if you want to measure the height of the building, height means ಯಾವ್ದಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Opposite side ಅಲ್ವಾ? Height is opposite side ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. For if you are going to consider this as theta, for this angle, considered angle. Now what is the distance? The distance is adjacent side. So in trigonometry, opposite and adjacent ಯಾವ್ದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡು. ಸೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? Opposite by hypotenuse. Sin is the ratio of opposite by hypotenuse. We studied in a previous class. And cosine, cos theta is a adjacent by hypotenuse. Coming to tangent, tan theta is a opposite by adjacent. Where opposite and adjacent is there in a tangent of the angle. Where tangent of the angle is the ratio of, tan theta. Tan theta is the ratio of opposite by adjacent. ಇದನ್ನ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, co-tangent of the angle, that is adjacent by opposite also. Anyhow, dear friends, that opposite by adjacent ನಾನು tangent of the angle ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. So we can consider very important ಆಗಿ this tan theta ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. In this chapter very important ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗೋದು ಯಾವುದು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ tan theta. What is tan theta, sir? Tangent of the angle is the ratio of opposite side divided by adjacent side. Opposite by adjacent side. Now, sir, what is opposite in this case? ಏನಾಯ್ತು ರಜಾ? Tan theta is equal to, what is opposite? ಏನಿದೆ? ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು height ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೋದಾ? Let's take height divided by what is adjacent, that we can consider as distance. So height by distance. Now very important again, in this case that tan theta we can consider as h by d ಅಂತ ತಗೋಣ. ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ವೇನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನ h by d ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. h by d ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗುವಂತದ್ದು ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಇನ್ನ ಟು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಯಾವುದು ಸರ್? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಸೈನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಆಂಗಲ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೈನ್ ಥೀಟಾ? ಅಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಬೈ ಹೈಪೋಟೆನ್ಯೂಸ್ ನಾವು ಕಲ್ತಿದೀವಾ. cos theta is adjacent by hypotenuse. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? Now let's take even the sin also. What is sin theta raja hagadre? Sin is a opposite by hypotenuse. Good, super. And cos theta is a adjacent by hypotenuse. That suppose if you are going to consider sin theta, sin is opposite by opposite. Instead of opposite, let me consider h anta tagona, height anta. Don't get confused. Opposite is representing h divided by hypotenuse adana hyp ಹಾಗೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲೈನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೈಟ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಬಹುದು. ಆ height hypotenuse side. Suppose cos theta ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೀತೀವಿ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ರಾಜಾ? What is cos theta? Adjacent side. What is adjacent? d. d by hypotenuse. ಹೀಗೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ರೆ in a future in this chapter I am going to use many times ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ನೀವು ಹೀಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, then it will be easy. Okay, chapter many questions are there. ಎಲ್ಲಾ questions ಕೂಡ ಈ ಮೂರು ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರೋ. That's it. If you know these three in a perfect way, I am sure dear friends ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಬರೋ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ನೀವು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ವಾಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ದೆನ್ 100% ಆಗಿ ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಬರುವ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ನೀವು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಓಕೆ, ಆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ವರಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಏನೇನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಲಿ. tan theta ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಈಗ tan theta is the ratio of opposite by adjacent, but opposite by adjacent is height by distance. Height by distance. Clear Raza? So let's take one of the example. One example ತಗೋಣ. So in your exercise, if you look at first question, in the exercise ಅಲ್ಲಿ first question observe ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Let me consider first question only in exercise 9.1. So let me continue with exercise question. Okay, exercise 9.1. exercise 9.1 ಏನಿದೆ? let me write this question here. A circus artist is climbing a 20-meter long rope, okay, which is tightly stretched, which is tightly stretched, okay, tightly stretched and tied from the top of a vertical pole, from a top of a vertical pole, top of a vertical pole, top of a vertical pole to the ground, okay. So now find the height of the pole. 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 If the angle made by the rope, if the angle made by the rope with the ground level is ground level is 30 degree. So this is a concept. So just observe carefully. ಈ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನೀವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದಾನೆ? ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಯಾ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಈ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಎ ಸರ್ಕಸ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ಲೈಂಬಿಂಗ್ ಎ 20 meter ಲಾಂಗ್ ರೋಪ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೈಟ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಚ್ಡ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಹಿಡಿದಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಟೈಟ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಚ್ಡ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಈಗ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, and tied from the top of the vertical pole. ಒಂದು vertical pole ಇದೆ. Let me consider this is a vertical pole. Okay, this is a pole. So somewhere the person is here ಇಲ್ಲೇ ತಗೋಣ ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ರೋಪ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ. This what let me consider rope ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ? Now here is the ground level. This is a ground level. Here the vertical pole means let me consider the height of the pole is h. So from here to here is the height of the pole is h. And from this point to this point is the distance of the person. The person ಎಲ್ಲಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ. Let me consider the person point is p. And here to here is there is a distance. I hope it's clear. Now what is the angle? ಅವನು ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾನೆ? What is the length? This is a rope, no? Let me consider ಇದೇನಂತ ಕರೆದಿ ನಾನು rope ಅಂತ ಕರೆದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. This is what a rope. This is a rope. Okay. So according to this condition ಅವನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? If the angle made by the rope with the ground is ground ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು. This is a ground level. This is a ground level. About this point is ಎಷ್ಟು the angle? 30 degree. That's it. Now, what is my aim? What is our aim? ಎಷ್ಟು the length of the rope? ಎಷ್ಟು the length of the rope? 20 meter long rope. 20 meter long rope. That means, dear friends, here you can observe carefully. This 20 meter is a length of the rope. Here to here is 20 meter. Which side is this? Which side is that? That is the hypotenuse side. You can observe here. This is a hypotenuse side. This is a height or h. Or this is a distance of the pole. On question ಕೇಳ್ತಿರೋದೇನಪ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಜಾ? What do we need to find here? Find the height of the pole. Height of the pole. H we need to find here. So here I know hypotenuse side. Here we need to find h. ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ? ಯಾವ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ? Hypotenuse by h ಏನಾಯ್ತು? Hypotenuse ಇಲ್ಲಿ h ಇದೆ. H means opposite side. In a right angle triangle this is a opposite side. Opposite side I want to find theta given the angle is 30 degree. Angle is 30 degree with the ground. Correct ಅಲ್ವಾ? So ಹಾಗಾಗಿ what we can do now? The simple concept ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ that is so ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಈಗ? Tell me first. So this we can express like sin theta is equal to, so this is a question here. Clear? So let me consider that is sin theta. What is sin theta, sir? Where sin is the ratio of opposite by hypotenuse side. That is a standard thing. But sin theta can also express as opposite is the height of the pole h, right? So h by hypotenuse side. This is the hypotenuse side. The ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು h ನ opposite side. H by hypotenuse. So let me consider this is hypotenuse. ನಾನು opposite ನ h ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Here h is what? Height of the pole. So dear friends, in this case ಈ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರಯಾಂಗಲ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರು ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? Observe carefully here. Okay na? So let me consider this is what conditions. Now what will happen here? What you can do? My aim is to find sin of theta given, no? What is the theta? 30 degree is equal to h by hypotenuse side. What is the hypotenuse here? The value is 20 meter. That is given in your question. The hypotenuse is 20. Sir, what is sin theta? Sin 30 degree? From the standard table, I guess you studied in the previous chapter. Previous chapter ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ರಜಾ ನಾವು. According to this standard table, the sin 30 degrees, what is the value? 1/2 half. So let me apply half is here. Sin 30 degree means 1/2 is equal to h by 20. Now if you send 20 this side, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? That 20 I can send to this side, now here to here, right? Denominator ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬಂದಾಗ into ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So therefore 20 ಎಂತ ಬರೀಬಹುದು ನೀವು? 20/2 equal to h. Next step ಅಲ್ಲಿ let me continue here. Or else h is equal to 20/2. It means 2 ones are 2 10s are 20. Therefore the final result, the height alwa, h means what? H is height of the pole is 10 meter. That's it. This is your result. Okay na? So this is what the basics, dear students. In this class just I explained basics about this application. Application ಹೇಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಬಹುದು and what are the what do you mean by angle of elevation and what do you mean by angle of depression. That was I explained in this session. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಸೈಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಸೈಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ 15 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್. ಪ್ರತಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಕೈಂಡ್ಲಿ ವಾಚ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಅನ್ಸಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀವು ಒಂದ್ಸೆಗೆ ನೀವು ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ವಾಚ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಅನ್ಸಿದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ವಿತ್ ಇನ್ ಟೈಮಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ವಿಲ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಷನ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.